Hello dear children of class 7 and welcome to yet another online class of general knowledge. Dear children, today we are going to read on a very medical related chapter. What I want to say is that today's chapter is chapter 17, Discovery of Penicillin that changed the world of medicine. Discovery of penicillin that changed the world of medicine. The key word here is penicillin. Now before I go deep into the word penicillin, okay, we start understanding how it discovered and all that, how it was discovered. We will be learning about another technical term known as antibiotic. Antibiotic. You see, this is not one term which you have not heard of. Many a time when you go to doctor along with certain medicines, they also prescribe you some antibiotics. Now, antibiotics refer to special chemicals, medicines, okay, which are known to kill other harmful microorganisms, which are known to kill other harmful microorganisms. Now, dear children, penicillin was the first antibiotic discovered by man. Penicillin was the first antibiotic discovered by man. Penicillin was discovered by Alexander Fleming. Alexander Fleming. Alexander. Alexander Fleming. Fleming. Now, dear children, long before antibiotic like penicillins were discovered, even any kind of small wound which left exposed or which would sore up would become life threatening to a person because there were no antibiotics to fight the disease to begin with. You see, before the discovery of penicillin, the condition was such that if you have a cut and somehow if the cut went sore, okay, if the cut got infected with microorganisms, some type of bacteria or anything, then a person could easily die. This was resulting in a lot of deaths. This was resulting in a lot of deaths, especially during the world wars. Okay. So, a Scottish scientist by the name Alexander Fleming, he went on to work. Okay, he started his research on the discovery of antibacterial and antifungal agents, the specialized chemicals or substances or maybe other microorganisms which would easily kill the harmful bacteria, harmful viruses and save a person's life. And what he discovered was penicillin. So today in this particular chapter, we will be learning about how penicillin was discovered. Now you might be thinking that why there is a whole story behind it. A scientist went to research and he simply discovered it. See, it's not about the destination, dear children. It's about the journey. It's about how he went on to discover the penicillin. Okay, for the fact that you must know, penicillin was discovered by accident. Penicillin were discovered by accident. The same way most of the major inventions and discoveries of the world are. They are discovered or they were invented through a fluke, through something that went very right or something that went very wrong. These substances, these things came into existence. That is the part of human ingenuity. So today we will learn about what kind of ingenuity Dr. Alexander Fleming applied towards the discovery of penicillin. And it totally changed the world of medicine, dear children, because it made most of the diseases, most of the wounds, most of the sores, less life-threatening. It became the first major life-saving drug of the world. So let's see how it went on to be. Alexander Fleming, a young bacteriologist, a person who studies on about bacteria, who does research on bacteria. You see, there are not only harmful bacteria in the world, there are many useful bacteria also, right? Because so if you are looking for examples, you don't have to look very far. You can go and look into your fridge. If you have curd, if you have curd in there, then you need to understand that curd was also formed by extremely sorry, that curd was also formed by a bacteria known as lactobacillus. Lactobacillus. So a person who is a bacteriologist, he studies about the good bacteria as well as the harmful bacteria, and he tries to learn on how to mitigate, how to lessen the effects of harmful bacteria. So Alexander Fleming was a bacteriologist, was investigating a type of bacteria in his hospital in his laboratory in St. Mary's Hospital, London, in August 1928. Okay, in August 1928, Alexander Fleming, a young bacteriologist, was busy researching on a type of bacteria in St. Mary's Hospital, London, in August 1928. So you can say the research on this particular bacteria started in 1928 August. Okay, August 1928, the research on this particular type of bacteria started. Now, as most of the scientists would be, this particular scientist was an exception. How? I'll let you know. See, most of the scientists, when they are working in their lab, they have everything organized, everything catalogued, everything classified. Some of the scientists and researchers even have a system with which they can locate anything in their lab. But Alexander Fleming, like I told you, was an exception. He was, okay, with all due respect to him, he was a careless person. Now, how he was a careless person, read the second part of it and you'll come to know. He left petri dishes of bacterial culture open carelessly on a bench near a window of the lab and went on a long holiday with his family. Petri dish, dear children, is a type of small lab plate. Okay, it is a small lab plate in which the many scientists, biologists, bacteriologists, they keep their substances. They can grow cultures in it. Okay, cultures are samples of microorganisms which they can later on study under the microscope. Okay, now most of the scientists or researchers, after their work is done, they would have properly arranged their petri dishes in controlled environment. They have kept it safely under lock and key and they would have gone somewhere. But like I said, Alexander Fleming was careless. He simply left open petri dishes near the window and went on a long holiday with his family. On 3rd September 1928, while cleaning up the lab, Fleming saw a blue-green fungus growing in the form of rings in one of the petri dishes of bacterial culture. Now when he came back, okay, in September 1928, maybe he found his lab had become too untidy, so he decided to finally clean it up. Now when he was cleaning up, okay, when he was cleaning up his lab, what he found was there was a blue-green fungus, okay, blue-green fungus growing in the form of rings. It was growing in the form of rings. Means he had kept the petri dish here, but there was a blue-green fungus growing all around it. Understood? In the form of rings. Fleming was surprised to find that area around the blue-green fungus ring seemed to be free of bacteria. It had killed a number of disease-causing bacteria. Now what he found was that the area around this blue-green fungus ring, the area covered by this blue-green fungus ring, the area around this fungus ring was totally free of bacteria. This particular fungus had already killed a large amount of harmful bacteria. Fleming put the blue-green fungus in a dish so that he could watch it grow. As it grew, he extracted some liquid from it. Now, Alexander knew that the enzyme, okay, whatever liquid or enzyme present within the fungus was doing the trick. So what he did, instead of cleaning the petri dish away, he kept that petri dish, he watched the blue-green fungus grow, and as it was growing, Alexander Fleming was able to extract some liquid, some enzyme from it. Okay, and why did he extract it? So that he could study it under a microscope, see what was causing this fungus to kill the bacteria. Later he found that the liquid extract from blue-green fungus could kill most dangerous type of bacteria. Okay, most of the dangerous type of bacteria could be easily killed by the liquid extracted from this blue-green fungus. Fleming identified blue-green fungus as Penicillium and named the substance it produced as penicillin on 7th March 1929. Remember this date, 7 March 1929. This was the date. Okay, the research on it started in August 1928 and the discovery of penicillin was made on 7 March 1929. Now, that blue-green fungus that Alexander Fleming had discovered was called Penicillium, and the enzyme, the liquid extracted from it, was known as penicillin. Okay. In 1939, almost 10 years after the discovery of penicillin, during Second World War, Dr. Howard Walter Florey and Dr. Ernst Boris Chain. Now, two more names come up here, dear children. Dr. Howard Walter Florey and Dr. Ernst Boris Chain. Okay, Dr. Howard Walter Florey and Dr. Ernst Boris Chain. I am mentioning these two names here along with Dr. Alexander Fleming because these three were together awarded the Nobel Prize for the discovery of penicillin. Now let's find out. We know the discovery of penicillin was made by Dr. Alexander Fleming. Let's find out how Dr. Howard Walter Florey and Dr. Ernst Boris Chain fit into the story. In 1939, during the Second World War, Dr. Howard Walter Florey and Dr. Ernst Boris Chain, while examining the substances capable of fighting bacteria, found that penicillin was the best antibiotic drug. Now, these two doctors, all 10 years after the discovery of penicillin, these two doctors were able to confirm, after running a comparative analysis of different substances that could kill the bacteria, these two doctors, Dr. Howard Walter Florey and Dr. Ernst Boris Chain, these two doctors discovered that penicillin was the best antibiotic drug. Dr. Florey and Dr. Chain found a method to extract the penicillin from penicillium, which could be injected into the human body to cure the bacterial diseases. Now, these two discovered the method through which the enzyme, the liquid, okay, the penicillin, could be extracted from penicillium, the fungus, okay, and then it could be injected safely into the human body. You can say these two were responsible for making penicillin easily available to the people. Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin, but these two discovered the method through which penicillin could be extracted, taken out from penicillium and then injected into the human body. Now let's see. Dr. Alexander Fleming, Dr. Howard Walter Florey and Dr. Ernst Boris Chain were awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 1945 for that great discovery of penicillin that changed the world of medicine. So basically, these two doctors, along with Dr. Alexander Fleming, these three were awarded Nobel Prize in 1945. Nobel Prize in 1945, and their their discovery, the penicillin, it changed the world of medicine forever. Now, dear children, before I end it up, please remember this. There is a thin difference between discovery and invention. Don't get it same, okay? Don't get it mashed up together. You might be confused. See, discovery is finding something which already exists but people don't know about. Inventing is making something which is totally new, which did not exist at all. Alright? So, having said that, I'll end it up. Okay, a pic will be provided to you for the quiz time. Your work will be to go through it, learn it, and as far as possible, make sure that you remember everything from this particular chapter. Thank you very much. Stay safe.